your external reality changes with you. And that's why it's so important that when it comes to embodying, you are following some steps, okay? And I created these steps to help you easily digest what embodiment truly means, because sometimes embodiment can sound fluffy, or embodiment sounds like some buzzword that everyone's using, and you're like, okay, but what does that actually mean, and how do I actually do it? The way that I teach my clients and the way that I've been able to shift my identity myself through embodiment over and over and over again throughout the years is through the words that I say, because words are spells. You are spell casting every single time that you are using the vibration of your throat, of your voice, to carry an energy that was not tangible. It's invisible, right? But then you are able to expel that outside of you more potently than if you were to just think it alone. That's why words are so powerful. So you're casting magical spells every single time that you speak. That's why affirmations work. So through your words, through your thoughts, through your feelings, through the decisions that you make and the actions that you take. So I'm going to really break down embodiment here in these categories to help you easily understand that if you've already created a vision of who your next level self is, the one who's already broken through, the one who's already living the life and experiencing the business and the success that you have always wanted and you've been craving, you don't have to continue to crave that. It can just be a vision that you anchor into that is hyper specific, that makes you feel alive, that makes you feel like you can actually have that gravitational pull, and you're anchoring into that. And then from there, you decide how that person moves. So who are you when you're your next level self? Who are you when you're your breakthrough self? Who are you when you've already experienced the things that it is that you're currently trying to call in? And then we actively bring that version of us into the present moment, into the here and now. And when you're able to bring them into the here and now, that's when you choose those words. That's when you are allowing yourself to feel certain things. That's when you're allowing yourself to think certain things. That's where you're making decisions in a certain way or taking actions in a certain way. So when you are doing this process, in times where you feel, oh, this is an old identity, this is the old version of me, this is old programming, this is an old belief system, these are ways of thinking and feeling that I no longer wish to resonate with or associate with, you have to actively then make that choice of what would my next level self do instead. And if for you, your next level self, you haven't really fully been able to connect with them because you're just starting this process, just tap into your higher self. I know that all of you have tapped into your higher self at least one time before, and especially if you're here in my world and you've been on this journey for a while, I know that you're probably very familiar with the higher self because I've taught you guys how to do that throughout the past 5 years that I've been in business. So when you're meditating and when you connect to your spirit, when you connect to your higher self, you have that bird's eye view of your life, of your story. When you are able to tap into a higher level of consciousness, you take that download, you take that code, you take those messages, you take those ideas, you take those thoughts, and you plug and chug them into the world. That's why we're spirit and matter. So as you're connecting to your higher self, you're connecting to God, source, creator energy, you are then able to embody what it is that you just conceptualized in your mind or in your third eye, and you're able to plug and chug that into the physical form by doing something very physical with it. And that's why when we're talking about words, when we're talking about thoughts, when we're talking about feelings, when we're talking about actions, when we're talking about these decisions and these choices that we're making, what is the energy behind those things? What is the mood? Because you can sit here and affirm all day long that you're some rich multimillionaire and that you have massive results for your clients, or that you have found the love of your life and you're ever so happy. You can affirm all those things, but if it's not deeply rooted with the energy, the emotion, which is just energy in motion, if you do not have it rooted in energy that resonates with your next level self or resonates with your higher self, you're just going to feel like you're climbing uphill for the rest of your life, because you will never feel like things are actually landing for you. You'll never feel like that truth, that depth that has to come when you're actively embodying something from the right kind of energy. For example, if you were to watch someone like on American Idol or The Voice, and you are watching these auditions, and you can tell the difference between someone who is going to make it and someone who's not going to make it, just because of their conviction and the energy that they're putting behind, or the emotion that they're putting behind the words and the lyrics that they're saying. You know when someone has just recited these lyrics and memorized a song and then they're singing and that's it. And you know when there is a genuine, true connection from their soul to their voice and then having that be projected out. There's a very, very, very stark difference between that. It's not a fine line. It's a big, bold, black line that is between those two different kinds of auditions. And so the same thing happens here. You know that if you say some words over and over and over again, but they lack meaning, they lack depth for you, it's not really going to amount to anything. But if you were to use your own spirit, use your own soul, use your own heart as you are saying certain words, it's going to make a bigger difference. And catch this, if you're using affirmations in a way where you are just repeating over and over and over again, thinking that that's what's going to get you your dream life or the amount of success that you're trying to manifest, you're trying to quantum shift, that's not going to work, because you know that even if you're repeating that over and over and over again, if you have no depth, if you have no emotion, it's not going to work. But the things that you actually are venerating, the things that you actually are putting energy into, is when you're like, ugh, this is not working for me because this person doesn't like me. I don't know when I'll ever be able to do this. I've been dealing with this same problem for so many years. I'll probably have to deal with it for X amount of years, even more. And then that energy of complaining, that energy of disgust, that energy of lack, that energy of scarcity rings much truer to you, because that's what you're choosing and deciding to believe. So in those moments, have awareness. If you accidentally complain about yourself, if you are accidentally hard on yourself, that's normal. Welcome to the club. But what we are doing differently here, as we are fiercely awakening to our next level selves and we're breaking through to our next level selves, what we're doing here is understanding, even if I have moments that I feel insecure, even when I have moments that I feel flawed, even when I have moments where I messed up, or I did not follow through, or I did not keep my own word, I didn't do the thing even though I should have, I didn't listen to my intuition, I didn't take inspired action. In those moments, you can then say, but wait, I am catching this, I am aware of this, now what can I do with this level of awareness? And then you make that active choice to do something different. And if you really want to break it down, you would then break it down like this. What are the words that my next level self would say about this current situation? How can I reframe this using my thoughts? How can I feel differently about the situation? And sometimes it's difficult to jump from despair or lack or scarcity to abundance and confidence and inner authority and inner certainty. So what we don't want you to do is to try and fake it till you make it. I don't really like that. Fake it till you make it works sometimes with some things, but I honestly don't think that is like the bulletproof way to go about things. I think that you really have to truly embody it and feel it. And it won't be faking it anymore. It'll be authentic and genuine. And I believe truly in my heart that that's what gets you to collapse timelines so much faster. Okay? Because when you're faking, you're pretending. And when you're acting as if, we're not pretending there. What we're doing is allowing our future self to be venerated, and we're allowing ourselves to tap into that energy that we know we will become, and then use that energy now, instead of using all the evidence or the emotion or the traumas of our past and using that now to move forward. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like some of you, it's so easy for you to go backwards and take all the evidence and all the proof that you've had from years before this current moment, and you're projecting that into your current reality and projecting that out into your future, and that's why you keep repeating more of the same. But if you're able to do that with your past, what makes you think that you can't do that with your future? So do that with your future. Go ahead and take that energy from the future and ring it in all the way into this current reality, into this current now moment, and then do something different about that. Okay? So when we're reframing certain things, it will allow us to see, you know what, I can hold both, right? Maybe I can't go from complete lack scarcity mindset right now to a mindset where I feel completely abundant and whole and complete and safe and secure and protected. But what I am able to do is say, if I know that the world is a spectrum, there is the law of polarity, there is the law of duality. I know that one thing is not just one thing and that's it. One thing is actually two things, and then it's everything in between. So if I know that I'm experiencing this lack and scarcity, and for whatever reason it's hard to kind of pattern out of my body right now, can I also still hold the belief? Can two things be true at the same time? Where I also am wildly successful, wildly empowered, wildly unapologetic, wildly fierce, wildly abundant, wildly rich, wildly wealthy, wildly loved, and then just have both of those as my experience. Can I hold both? And that takes the pressure off of you trying to change your state so drastically from something that is not serving you to something that will absolutely serve you. You can hold both. And then in that, it like softens the blow of that negative emotion or of that negative thought process. So in the days where you're feeling really down and out and you're like, how the hell do I get out of this? Sometimes it feels like you just asking that question of how do I get out of this is still embodying and identifying with a person who cannot solve challenges. But what you're wanting to do in that moment is have that awareness and say, but I am the person who solves challenges. I'm the person who creates non-issues. I'm the person who always has a solution to things. Can I hold both of these energies? Can I hold both of these identities? And if the answer is yes, which oftentimes it is yes, all you have to do is make that decision. It softens the blow of that negative emotion, and that already propels you forward where you can spiral up instead of spiraling down, where you can manifest things that are new to you, even if you've never experienced them before, instead of experiencing more of the repeated things over and over again that you do not wish to continue to manifest. So I hope that for you today, you take this little mini lesson of true embodiment and what that means and how you can use the laws of the universe to really hold both of the things that you're experiencing, because every single time that you experience contrast, you are manifesting the things that you do want. But the only reason why you can't see that yet is because you continue to choose through your words, through your thoughts, through your feelings, through your decisions, and through your actions that you still associate with that older identity. And one last tidbit for you is to make sure that you're asking the right questions. I know that they say that there's no right or wrong questions, and that's fine. In my world, sometimes I feel like people can have the wrong questions, and that's because I know that there could be a higher level of consciousness question. If you're asking questions to the universe of how do I do this, and when will it come to me, and will I ever experience this, you are already asking the universe, aka yourself. You're asking yourself from a lessened point of view, from a weakened point of view, from a disempowered point of view, from an identity who does not know how to make it, from an identity who does not know how to break through, from an identity that is not the next level, it's the last level. Okay. And so when you shift the questions that you're asking of, well, what would my next level self do? What would they say? How would they think about the situation? How would they perceive the situation? What is the solution that they've already used to alchemize the situation? What are the decisions that they made from this that I'm going through currently? What are the actions that they then take when they were faced with this issue? Now that's when we start cooking. And we start cooking really well. And from that point of view, you feel like you are that next level self. And then what happens? You have to follow through. Once you follow through, that is the key to embodiment. That's why I always teach manifestation from the lens of your energy centers, going down from the crown all the way down to the root. And if you do not know what that formula or what that system is, then I do have a free masterclass for you that I will go ahead and link down below so that you have the opportunity to take some notes and rewatch over and over again so that you understand how energetically you could be blocking your own manifestations. You could be blocking your own quantum shifts and identity shifts. All right. I love you guys very much, and I will see you in the next one.